let's start standing today. We're not going to stand too long. We're going to do a primarily floor class. But just to start, we'll do a few standing postures. But let's go ahead, take the feet about hip width. Let's pick the toes up, give them a good stretch, spread them apart. Back to the mat, grip with the toes. Let's go ahead and soften the knees a little. Maybe arms by the sides, palms facing forward. Go ahead and soften those knees. Give that tailbone a little tuck. Stand up just a little straighter. Don't have to go all out there, just a little straighter than where you're starting. We're going to spend a few minutes. We're going to just check in inwards, see where we are today. Taking a left-hand turn into my neighborhood today. A lot of traffic out there. Someone was waiting to turn left out of the neighborhood as I was waiting to turn left. Cars moving in both directions. Bicycle here, a bicycle there. Coming up behind. When I was sitting in that turn lane, I thought of how many different things were going through my headspace. Our brains do a lot of things simultaneously. I was watching all of the traffic and motion around. And I thought, I'm just going to wave that guy out. Let him go left before I do. And then I thought, it's not a good idea. You don't know who's coming behind. You need to stay in your own lane, your turn lane. Do you? What can I control? That left turn. Make more sense hopefully as we go through a little bit of the class. But go ahead, notice what's going on. Sensations in the body first. Notice how your feet are touching the mat. Are you focused on that bit of narrative? Not an accident. Go ahead and check in on all those things in the body that might not be quite right today. Let's make a little movement. A little movement on those. And that head space, hopefully it started to settle in just a bit. Just through that narrative, putting you in the space. When those thoughts come and go, just going to let them. Not doing that right now, going to do this right now. Do that later. And check in with the breath, just noticing what it is now. Let's go ahead and start to extend the spine a little bit taller. Grip with the toes, soften the knees, tuck the tailbone. Activating that spine. So take a few bigger breaths down that spine. On the next exhale, We're going to start to close the hands into fists, balling up the fingers and the hands. And then we're going to inhale, extending back out. Fingers wide, fingers stretching. Exhaling, hands coming into fists. Inhaling, finding those stretched fingers and hands. Just move into the rhythm of your own breath there. Notice how the fingernails touch the skin. The fingertips touch the skin. Those sensations. The next time you find those hands extended, go ahead and keep them that way. Palms facing forward here. Tuck the tailbone, soften the knees. We're going to inhale, arms all the way up. You might want to pause somewhere along the way. If you find resistance, breathe into it. We're going to exhale, bringing those arms back down by the sides. Going to soften the knees. Keep that tailbone tucked. Moving just in the rhythm of your own breath here. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, arms back down. Let's inhale up one more time. Clasp the hands and let's send the palms in the direction of the sky. May need to readjust that tailbone. Breathe big right here. Next exhale, we're going to twist left. Our motions are all going to be a little different here. Our breaths are different sizes. Just focus on your stretched breath. Bigger inhale, slower exhale. We're going to inhale back to center. Inhale, exhale at center to reset. Next exhale, we're going to twist right. Check in with those knees. Do they both have a tiny bend? Only twisting as far as that spine straight. Next inhale, we'll bring it back to center. We're going to drop those arms. And we're going to go a few shoulder rolls forward. Clicking, popping, grinding, reduce the size. Let's go a few shoulder rolls backwards. And then bringing those arms down by the side, shoulders pulling down and away from the ears. Let's take a couple steps back on the mat. Some of you might prefer to move to the carpet or even the hard floor. We're going to do one good balancing posture before we start transitioning to the floor. So we'll go arms at the sides here. Want to find a spot to focus on. Something not moving. When you close your eyes, that automatically means more depth. So try to start with those eyes open, focused. Notice how that weight's evenly distributed, front to back, side to side. We're going to keep those big breaths going. We're going to take a step forward with the right foot. We're going to lift the toes, spread them apart, get a bit of a grip. And we're going to bring our left foot up in front. arms down 100 times. Just let it. Let your body adapt to it. Grip with those toes. Maybe bringing those hands to heart center. Bring that breath back. I want you to make sure you've got that right hip nice and straight and you have that tiny bend in that right knee. On an exhale, going to slowly start to send that left foot back and reach forward with the fingertips. Don't lose the focus on that spot you chose. What's that head space telling you right now? Probably not true. One more big breath here. Let's bring that left foot down. Let's give those hips a good shake. And shake it off. Brand new side. We're going to put that one in the past. We're going to move forward right here. Arms down by the sides. Just regrouping. A few big breaths. When you're ready, taking a step forward with that left foot, picking up the toes, spreading them, getting a grip, bringing that right foot up in front this time. Try to actively pull those fingertips down and away from the ears. Let that ankle wobble away. If that ankle's wobbling, you're exactly where you should be. Maybe bringing the hands to the center of the chest there. Pull those shoulders down. Check in with that left hip. And when you're ready, on an exhale, sending that right foot back, reaching forward with those fingertips. Probably feeling a bit more grounded and focused here. Probably feeling a little more judgmental. Go ahead and drop that. Last breath here. Let's bring that right foot down. Hands to the center of the chest. Down by the sides. Let's give the hips a good shake. We're going to transition to seated now. We're going to spend the rest of the class in seated postures and lying down postures. So let's start. It'll be about probably the middle of my mat. I'm going to walk you through a down dog. Anything going on with the wrists, just get down safely and any way that's best for you today. Let's take the hands to the front of the thighs here. Tailbones tucked, knees are soft, crown of the head is pulling toward the ceiling, toes are gripping. We're going to exhale and we're going to start to hinge forward here. We're not going to take our hands all the way down to the mat quite yet. We're going to pause with the hands somewhere on the front of the legs. We're going to pull the crown of the head forward. Pull the sit bones back. Might apply a little pressure to the legs. Breathe big right here. And when you're ready, we're going to bend the knees. We're going to take both hands to the mat, fingers wide, hands and fingers gripping. Walk the feet back. Hips are moving in the direction of the ceiling. Chest is moving toward the front of the thighs. Back of the thighs are moving in the direction of the wall behind. Heels are moving toward the floor. Gaze is between your feet. Big breaths right there. Go ahead and pedal out if you want to get a little stretch. Back of those ankles, maybe calves. And when you're ready, we're going to start to shift the weight forward so that we're coming onto our arms. Elbows are soft. You could either gently take one knee down at a time, or you could use the strength of your arms to lower yourself slowly until your chest and tummy are on the floor. We're not going to stay there. We're immediately going to push up. Not push up, push up. We're going to take the knees wide, big toes toward one another. We're going to send our hips in the direction of our heels, and we're going to walk our hands forward. Go ahead and relax those arms there. Relax those shoulders. Give those legs a bit of a rest after balancing. Had someone in class last night, foot came down, a little bit of discouragement. And she said, I could always do that. We could always do that as kids. I stood on a balance beam. Can't do that as an adult. And I said, how often were you standing on that balance beam when you were a kid? Several days a week. When you're ready, let's go ahead and start to walk those hands back up. Bring those knees right under those hips. And right here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to shift down onto our right hip. So just coming onto that right hip. Going to take the feet here and we're going to bring them just as close to the body as we can here. We're going to check in with those knees. Anything showing up. You're going to grab a block and you're going to place it right under that right hip. And then you might extend those arms, fingertips pulling down and away from the ears. We're going to take the left hand right outside the left foot here. We're going to inhale, extending the right fingertips tall. Nice straight spine here. Exhaling, maybe walking those fingertips out. Pulling those right fingertips directly out of that right hip. Nice long side here, not rounding or folding to go further, but finding that length. Check in with those knees, maybe something's starting to creep up, might scale back. Last breath here. Let's walk those fingertips back up. Let's bring that right hand down. And from right here, we're not going to transition to the other side yet. We're going to keep this right sit bone connected to the floor. And we're going to start to send this left leg behind us. It's moving in the direction of straight. You can still use a wedge if you're tipping over here, but you should be able to remove the blocks, but just listening to your own body, specifically with those knees. I'm rolling onto the top of that back foot as much as I can. I'm going to square my body up right over this right knee. I'm going to relax my back leg. I'm going to relax my hip. Relax the jaw. And on an exhale, starting to walk those hands forward. Just keep recycling back through that form. Relax the body. Bring the headspace back to what you're feeling right here. Maybe how the body's connected to the floor. Where it's touching on that foot. Scanning the body, looking for where you can let go a little. Translate these kinds of things into your day-to-day life. That left turn I was making, I decided to kind of let go of the guy that was going to be turning left. If you're down to your forearms, you can take that left arm, send the left shoulder in the direction of the floor. Not required, just if you need a little more there. Rather than wave him out, I decided there were traffic laws for all these things that I'm trying to change in my turn lane. It's like peeling layers of an onion. Worry about the bicycle at the last red light. Worry about the bicycle that's right here, right now. Need to worry about all the things around. Keep relaxing here. Just a couple more breaths. I always like to remind you this is a great posture for that lower back, even though you may feel it in the hip. When you're ready, I'll start to slowly walk those hands back up. Mindfully bringing that left leg back around. Careful of that knee. We're going to bring that foot all the way across. We're going to see if we can cross it right over that right knee. If not, we could take it to the inside. Left hand is going to go right behind this left hip. Modifications here. Obviously, we're folded up pretty small. Remember, you can extend that bottom leg too and get the same stretch here, just in a different way. Might be more accessible. Right hand outside that left knee. We're going to extend first, and on an exhale, we're going to twist toward the left. Keep breathing big, keep gripping with those fingers, keeping that spine long. Relax that right shoulder, relax that left shoulder. suggested. You can always come out a little early. Last big breath here. And then we're going to gently unwind. Let's go ahead and take this foot that's crossed. We're going to do one more before we move over to the other side. Let's see if I can remember all this when we get to the other side. But let's take that left foot that's in front. Let's bring it back around. Let's send it, tuck it behind this left hip. And just bring that right foot into a tight bend. Check in with the knees here. If you need a little lift, grab a block. We're going to take both hands behind, fingers wide here, shoulders back. Give the tailbone a bit of a tuck. I know that arch tries to sneak in. Long spine, and on an exhale, maybe walking those hands back. Finding your appropriate depth here. Breathing big into those open shoulders, that open chest. Where can you let go a little? First day you've been in this posture, how's it different? Keep a little micro bend in those elbows as well, just outside of lock. Last big breath here. And wherever you are, slowly walking those hands back up. Just reset tall right here. And then we're slowly going to start to transition onto that other side. Who wants to lead? We all know this side will be very different. Feet are tucked close to the right hip, rolled onto the top. Anything showing up? Blocks. Knees are okay here. You can take the right hand right outside this right foot. We're going to inhale, extending those left fingertips tall this time. They're pulling directly out of that left hip. Exhaling, walking those fingers out. Layers of that onion can you peel here? Scaling back in depth. It's removing a little bit of that judgment or criticism. Last breath here. We'll slowly walk those fingertips back up, bringing that left hand back down to the side. This time we're going to start to send that right foot back, moving slowly, moving in the direction of straight. Doesn't have to look like mine. Left sit bone all the way on the ground, protecting that knee, rolling onto the top of that right foot, part of the form. Torso over that front leg, inhaling. Relaxing the body and then starting to walk those hands forward. We're always looking for those imbalances. I realized I was kind of skimping a little on this one. Ignoring one piece of the form, which was roll onto the top of that foot as much as I could. Because I wasn't doing that, and it was repeated over time, creates an imbalance. A little challenging for me to turn onto the top of that foot now. So I lost some depth. I'm going to do it again. Trying to do it the right way. Need more here. Right hand can thread under that left arm. Right shoulder toward the floor. Look for any of that stress in the body, any of that tensing up. Peel that onion, relax it. Big breaths. Bringing that oxygen straight to those warmed up muscles. Notice how the body's adapting. It's a little more willing to relax, a little more willing to allow for more depth. Just a couple more breaths right here on this side. Relaxing everything for that last breath, and then when you're ready, starting to walk those hands back up slowly. Carefully bringing that right leg around, moving intentionally slow. Maybe checking with that foot right inside first, and then crossing. Remember that bottom leg can be straight. Just be careful turning that knee back and forth. But right hand's going to go right behind this right hip. Left hand outside the right leg. Inhale, extending tall, pulling the shoulders down. Exhaling, twisting right. Keeping that little bit of a gaze over that shoulder. Keeping the eyes soft. Relaxing the jaw. Gripping with the fingers. Supporting tall, breathing big. Last breath right here. And then we'll go ahead and start to bring that right hand back around. We'll uncross that right foot. We're going to start to send it behind onto the top of the foot next to that right hip. Check in with those knees. Take both hands behind if that's going to work for you. Fingers are wide, fingers and hands gripping. And on an exhale, maybe walking back. Tucking that tailbone, opening the chest, breathing big. The elbows soft. Try to relax that right leg. Notice any side-to-side differences here without judgment. Those little parts of the form you might be able to correct. Just one more here. And let's slowly walk those hands back up. Let's bring that right foot around. Let's go both feet out front, toes toward the ceiling. Legs are straight, but going to keep just a little bit of a bend there. Or I say soft, just soft knees. We're going to go both hands behind. We're going to use them to support tall. So grip with the hands and the fingers. Big inhale, and on an exhale, maybe finding a little space to hinge forward. Only exploring depth as far as you can breathe big. No prior pain is being amplified. Body's not locking up or fighting, not shaking. Last big breath here. Let's bring that torso right back upright. Let's take the soles of the feet, place them together. Don't worry about how high or low the knees are. Maybe a foot and a half from the body or so. We'll go hands to the shins, ankles, or feet, whatever's accessible. Gonna inhale, extending tall. So crown of head pulling directly out of those sit bones. Exhaling, hinging forward. Only hinging as far as you can. Maintain that straight spine. Don't want to round or fold for depth. Apply a little pressure on the inside of the legs with those elbows if you need a little more depth. Let's go one more big breath here. And then let's bring that strong torso right back up. Let's go soles of the feet to the mat. We're going to start to roll down all the way onto our backs. You're familiar with the options here. If you need a little strengthening through the middle, Tony, you can take those arms out straight, fingertips pulling out of those shoulders. And you can roll back just as slowly as you can. Other option, just grab onto the front of those shins. And roll back, just using the hands to the shins. Let's go ahead and extend the legs out long. I think I checked. I think everybody should have a strap. I want you to grab grab your strap. So we're going to take the strap here. We're going to take the sole of the left foot and just place the sole of the left foot on the ground to start. We're going to take our right foot. We're going to put that foot right into that strap. The strap's going to be close to the heel. We want this leg to be straight. We want to keep that knee soft though. You control depth with the strap. You can use your hands to choke up a little. You can direct that foot in the direction of your head. Continue to breathe. You can extend that bottom leg out long. Might get a little more there. We're going to take the left arm wide into a T with the palm facing up. And we're going to start to guide that right foot out to the side, opening up that right hip. Depending on how much depth you have, you might be better to place the sole of that left foot onto the ground. That left arm should be doing some of that countering with the balance. Let's guide that foot back so that the sole of the right foot is facing the ceiling. Let's swap to the left hand. Extend the right arm out, palm up. Crossing that right leg over the left. We're in that direction. Breathing big. Nice. Last breath right there. And then guiding that foot back to the ceiling. But before releasing that strap, I want you to connect that right sit bone, that right hip to the floor. Just like that, with the sole of the foot reaching up. Last breath, and then go ahead and release. Let's just give those hands a break. Let's inhale, extending the fingers wide, opening the hands. Exhaling, going into that fist. Inhale, extend. Just to your own breath rhythm there. And when you're ready, you can reach for that strap one more time. This time we're going to take the sole of the left foot somewhere near that heel. And then we're going to send that sole of the foot to the ceiling. We're going to connect that left hip down to the floor. You might choke up on the strap for more depth, or you might get more of a pull toward the body. Let's take that right arm out wide, palm up, sending that left foot toward the left, opening up that left hip. or the sole of that right foot might still be on the floor. One more breath here. Let's guide the sole of that foot toward the ceiling, swapping the strap to the right hand. Left hand extends out, palm up. Crossing that left foot over. Breathing big. Relaxing that hip. Last breath here. Slowly guiding that foot back toward the ceiling. One more time, connecting that left hip, anchoring it to the floor. One breath into that leg. And then let's release. You can take that strap right off to the side. Let's go both soles of the feet to the mat. We're going to take the right ankle, we're going to cross it over the left knee. Notice right there how this feels. What parts of your back are touching the mat? This might be enough for some of us, or you might lift that left foot, settling it onto a block or a little bit of height. Or you can lift that bottom leg, you can thread the right arm behind the left leg. So between and behind the left leg, reaching around with the left hand. And then relaxing that left foot, allowing the strength of your arms to support all of the weight of your legs. If your legs are tensing up here, go ahead and scale back. Allow the arms to do the work. Further isn't better, deeper isn't better. A whole lot of onion layers before that. If you need more depth, you can take the hands around the front of that shin and then give a gentle pull toward the body. Inhale, assessing, exhaling, release. Let go of something that's tight there or tense. We're not working. One more big breath, and then we're going to slowly bring the sole of that left foot back to the mat. We're going to uncross that right foot. We're going to bring both knees up. Hands reaching for the top of the knees. We're going to go gentle rock side to side. Let's go both feet back down to the mat. No predicting here, just following the form to the boundary or edge, crossing that left ankle over that right knee, pausing, assessing, What's this like today? Maybe a little lift for that bottom foot. Maybe taking that left hand, threading it behind the right thigh, reaching around with the right hand, clasping the hands, relaxing the hips, relaxing the legs, relaxing the jaw. Where is this showing up? What do I need to acknowledge first? Need more, taking the hands around the front of that right shin. Gently pulling toward the body. Noticing how that lower back's touching the mat. Always a good thing. Just one more big breath here. And let's gently bring the sole of that right foot back down to the mat. Uncross that left foot. And from here, I'm going to have you roll all the way onto your left side. Yeah, if you need to rock those knees out, you can. Kind of glazed right over that. Bring the knees just as close to the chest as you can here. We're going to secure both knees down with the left hand. We're going to inhale. We're going to extend those right fingertips toward the sky. We're going to exhale and we're going to drop that right arm down and back. Maybe following with the gaze. Not forcing that hand to the floor. If it's dangling, just allowing it to dangle. The power of the big breath will give a little more depth. Check in with that neck. If it starts talking, just angle the head so you can face the ceiling there. Relax both shoulders. Need a little more depth. Extend that bottom leg straight. Just breathing big. When you're ready, let's go ahead and slowly bring that left knee back if it's extended. Slowly bringing that right arm back around. Rolling onto the back, bringing the knees up, one knee at a time. Knees to the hands. Let's circle in one direction. Let's reverse direction. And then soles of the feet back down to the mat. have to shimmy a little, straighten yourself out, but then rolling all the way onto that right side. Bringing the knees as close to the chest as they're going to go. Right hand to the outside of that left knee. Inhale, left fingertips toward the sky. Exhaling, sending those left fingertips down and back. Relax the lips. Check in with the neck. Need more depth. Extend that bottom leg. Just one more big breath on this side. And then slowly bringing that left arm back around. Oh, if that bottom leg's extended, bring it to meet the left as well. Rolling onto the back one more time, one knee up at a time. Let's go soles of the feet toward the ceiling. Let's use the hands to reach to the outside of the feet. If you're able to reach those feet, you're going to direct the knees toward that rib cage, keeping those hips down to the ground. Last big breath here, just resetting that back. And then soles of the feet back to the mat. We're going to move into our final posture. Go ahead and walk those feet out. Relax the legs, allowing the feet to fall how they will. Arms may be at the sides, palms up, or they may be on the belly. Few more big breaths right there, allowing that back to settle onto the floor. Just a bit of reflection. Seal the practice in. Checked in with the body, the breath, and the mind when we started. An hour later, you balanced, done a bit of strength. It's pretty intense stretching. What surprised you? What didn't? Seal in anything you learned from your practice. Just become as heavy as you can. Relaxing the ribs. Relaxing all those tiny muscles in the face. Allowing the breath to do what it wants to do. that self-care today. So that critical self or judgmental self didn't get in your way with your practice. You're eventually going to bring some intentionally softer and slower movement back at your pace. Maybe fingers and toes. Just some light stretches of the body. A good bit of tense stretching. Just go a little bit softer. Check in with anything the body needs. Right here before you transition back to those turn lanes. Where you're trying to navigate and control chaos. But you don't even have to. Save that space for family, loved ones, friends.